Tyler, and I'm here giving speech 3 today, and these are my note cards. Thank you. Yeah. Wow. Can't read handwriting right now. Hello, my name is John Doe. I woke up this morning to rays of sunshine, and I kissed my wife and kids before I headed into work today. I gave a warm nod to my coworkers, and I waved at my boss as I walked by his office on the way to my cubicle. As I sat down at my desk and sipped my coffee in preparation for the day, 3 thoughts dominated my mind. I'm severely depressed. No one knows about this, and if anyone finds out, my life is over. Maybe I should just kill myself. My name is actually Tyler, and as a member of an extremely high-stress career field, I've recently discovered that many people are not reaching out and seeking the critical help they need for their mental health for fear of being judged, for fear that there will be repercussions on their job, or they simply believe that no one cares. There's a stigma surrounding mental health care that is keeping people from reaching that critical and often life-saving help. It can be redressed by bringing awareness and knowledge of this issue to people with and without mental health issues. So let's start with going over why and how this is an issue. Many people suffer from and overcome mental health issues every single day. The problem begins when people don't reach out for the help they need because they believe that more harm than good will come from reaching out for help. I've dealt with this issue personally in my lifetime as a supervisor. There was a time that a troop under my command was dealing with crippling depression. I found out he was drinking every single day before coming into work. And before I was able to intervene and do something about it, he said the reason that he didn't come forth because he believed that he would be fired from his job or kicked out of the military entirely. I'm sure many of you know someone who may seem like they're not quite in the right place but haven't said anything, or you may even be in that spot yourself. The National Institute of Mental Health states in their 2019 health report, so that's recent, that close to 1 in 5 adults in the United States is suffering from some form of mental health illness. That's a lot. If you don't believe me, I'll give you an example of a recently recognized issue with something we all know about, but now it has an official term, and that is job burnout. The Mayo Clinic staff says in their 2018 web column that job burnout is described as a state of mental or physical exhaustion that involves a reduced sense of accomplishment and a loss of personal identity. Has anybody here ever been on the job and just felt like, do I really have to go through this? Did you feel a sense of hopelessness, but you just continued to go with the flow instead of reaching out because you felt like you would be judged for it or that no help would come? The World Health Organization, or the WHO for short, says in their March 2018 online article that stigma and discrimination is keeping people from reaching out for the mental health they need. And this is against patients and family members as well. So it's not just your coworkers. They believe that their family will look at them in a different light, so they just continue to suffer in silence. This is an issue that people and family are suffering from every single day, but they don't want to be treated differently or judged, so they continue to go about with smiles on their face, pretend that everything's okay. Anxiety and low knowledge about this issue is really helping to drive home the stigma, and it's keeping us from being able to do anything to dispel it. So now that I've given you some background and some statistics dealing with this mental health stigma, let's talk about what we can actually do to change this or make a difference. We know that people suffer every single day, but if they won't reach out to us, what can we do to make a difference? The number one most important thing you can do, and the easiest step, is to save the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline in your phones. And that phone number is 1-800-273-8255. In the event that somebody you know is down at their lowest point and you don't feel capable of pulling them out of that place, or if you ever reach that place yourself, this phone number is a literal lifesaver. Next, remind yourself that this issue is gaining more attention every single year. There's a good chance that making your supervisor, your family, or someone aware of what you're going through or letting other people know that you're available is not going to backfire on them or yourselves the way that many people assume it will because of the way that mental health was handled in the past. and the way that discrimination was ingrained in society at one point in time in America. Many people are unaware of the resources that are out there. So if you feel like you are being discriminated against, the SAMHSA, or Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, is available in many areas to help out and step in, and they're just a Google search away. Many people are suffering silently, and it is more prevalent because people don't believe that they can get that help. If we can educate ourselves and in turn educate other people, we can really help to turn this mental health stigma on its head. Because if we help one, they in turn may help two, who then helps two more people to eventually overturn it all together. So now that I've given you some info on battling this negative outlook and this stigma that's associated with reaching out for help, I want to give you a scenario to kind of drive home what a difference getting help can make. And I want you to think back to my intro and the way I introduced it. What if I told you something along the lines of, hello, my name is John Doe. I woke up this morning to rays of sunshine with a smile on my face. I kissed my wife and kids good morning, and I headed off to work. I nodded at my coworkers, hello, and I waved at my boss as I walked past in my cubicle. And as I sat down, one thought dominated all others in my mind. I'm severely depressed, but everything is going to be okay. My wife has my back, and so do my coworkers. Do you see how much of a difference fostering an environment for people to come forth about their issues and not feel like they'll be reprimanded can make a difference in somebody's life? Little did John Doe know, someone else in this career field would suffer from issues as well, because he had the courage to come forth and those resources were made available to him by coworkers. That person was able to turn their life around as well and save themselves. So we need to foster that environment, and we need to make sure that people are aware that there are resources available and you can get help. So I made you aware of this mental health stigma that's out there, and I've given you some of the tools and knowledge to do something about it and make a difference. You or a loved one may be suffering in silence for fear of being judged. We can no longer stand by and let each other suffer in silence for fear of being judged. Past discriminations are no longer here, and it's time to educate ourselves and make ourselves aware of these resources so that we can combat this life-ruining stigma. And we need to decimate the idea that you cannot receive help because of what's happened in the past. In a world of John and Jane Does out there who are suffering silently every single day, we can make a difference simply by knowing what to do and by acknowledging that the issue does exist. Thank you.